Which of the following most likely indicates hypertrophic cardiomyopathy? Let's start with answer choice F, a grade 3 out of 6 holosystolic murmur at the apex that increases on hand grip. Okay, holosystolic murmur is referring to murmurs that occur throughout systole. So we have the heart sounds S1 and S2. S1 heart sound is going to occur when the mitral and tricuspid valves close, and the S2 heart sound is going to occur when aortic and pulmonic valves close. When the aortic and pulmonic valves close, that marks the start of diastole, and when the mitral and tricuspid valves close, that marks the start of systole. Between S1 and S2 is going to be systole, and a systolic murmur, a holosystolic murmur, is going to be continuous between S1 and S2. There are 3 pathologies that can result in a holosystolic murmur: tricuspid regurgitation, mitral regurgitation, as well as ventral septal defect. Now our answer choice is saying that this murmur is going to occur at the apex of the heart. Now if we are to draw a person like this, here's the clavicle, and remember the way you want to remember where we can auscultate the heart valves is by using the mnemonic: all patients take medicine. In the right sternal border, in the second intercostal space, we're going to have the aortic valve. We're going to be best able to auscultate the aortic valve, and then right across that, in the left sternal border, in the second intercostal space, is going to be the best location to auscultate the pulmonic valve. Underneath that, in the fifth intercostal space, is going to be the tricuspid valve, and next to it is going to be the mitral valve. The apex of the heart is going to be found in the area where the mitral valve is going to be located, where we best hear the mitral valve. As a result, this is most likely talking about mitral regurgitation. Mitral regurgitation occurs during systole, and during systole, the mitral valve should be closed. It has these 2 leaflets. During systole, the left ventricle can have enough pressure so that it can open up that mitral valve, and it can result in a blood flow going to the left atrium. Now the reason why this murmur is going to increase on hand grip is due to the reason that hand grip is going to increase systemic vascular resistance, which is correlated to the afterload. So if it is harder for the left ventricle to get rid of blood, then that is going to result in more blood accumulating within the left ventricle. If we have more blood within the left ventricle, there's going to be a higher potential of blood backflowing into the left atria if there's a problem with the mitral valve. That will ultimately result in a worsening of the murmur. So answer for choice A is talking about mitral regurgitation. Now let's look at answer choice E. A grade 4 out of 6 holosystolic murmur heard along the left lower sternal border that increases on hand grip. Again, we're talking about a holosystolic murmur. It is going to be along the left lower sternal border. So the along the left lower sternal border is going to be the tricuspid valve, as well as the place where we best hear the ventral septal defect. So around that region is going to be a good spot to auscultate tricuspid regurgitation as well as ventral septal defect. Now the information that we have is that this murmur is going to increase on hand grip. So as we said, hand grip is going to increase systemic vascular resistance, resulting in accumulation of blood within the left ventricle. A ventral septal defect would make sense for this answer choice because a ventral septal defect is going to result in blood flowing from the left ventricle into the right ventricle due to a defect in the ventricular wall. If we have more blood found within the left ventricle, then there will be more blood going into the right ventricle, causing an increase in the murmur. As a result, the most likely answer or the most likely pathology that this answer choice is talking about is ventricular septal defect. With tricuspid regurgitation, the answer choice would say something like a increase of the murmur intensity with inspiration. So tricuspid regurgitation occurs when during systole the tricuspid valve should be closed. Let's try this in another color. The tricuspid valve should be closed during systole, but there's going to be a backflow of blood going to the right atrium from the right ventricle. What can increase this backflow of blood can be inhalation. The reason for this is during inhalation, intrathoracic volume is going to increase, and this is going to decrease the pressure found within the right atrium. If the pressure within the right atrium decreases, then this will result in more blood coming to the right atrium because blood flows from high pressure to low pressure. This will result in a higher amount of blood found within the right atrium. As a result, during diastolic filling, we will have more blood found within the right ventricle. Then when systole occurs, because now that we have more blood found within the right ventricle, there's more potential of blood flowing back to the right atria from the right ventricle. Now let's look at answer choice D. A grade 3 out of 6 early diastolic murmur heard at the right sternal border that increases with rapid squatting. Now we're talking about diastolic murmurs. And another key information that this answer choice tells us is the murmur that happens in the right sternal border. And it's going to increase with rapid squatting. If you look at the right sternal border, the only valve that we are going to auscultate is going to be the aortic valve. There are two pathologies that can be associated with the aortic valve. One is aortic regurgitation, and the other is aortic stenosis. Now remember that aortic regurgitation is going to occur during diastole when the aortic valve is closed, and aortic stenosis is going to occur during systole when the aortic valve is open. Because in aortic stenosis there's a narrowing there's a stenosis of the valve. when the left ventricle contracts during systole, it is going to cause that murmur. The answer choice is talking about a diastolic murmur found within the right sternal border, so it is talking about aortic regurgitation. What happens with aortic regurgitation is during diastole, when the aortic valve should be closed, there is going to be a leakage of blood coming from the aorta into the left ventricle. This is going to increase with rapid squatting because squatting is going to increase systemic vascular resistance. If it increases systemic vascular resistance, then that is going to increase afterload, which means that the resistance in which the left ventricle is pushing the blood is going to be increased. Therefore, it is going to be harder for the left ventricle to get rid of the blood, and then there will be more blood found within the left ventricle, which is going to result in an increase in the murmur for aortic regurgitation because of an increase in blood found within the left ventricle. Now let's look at answer choice C, a grade 2 out of 6 machine-like murmur heard at the upper left sternal border. When we hear the words machine-like murmur, we should automatically think of patent ductus arteriosus. So machine-like murmur is continuous. So it is going to look like this. This is S1, this is S2. A machine-like murmur is going to be continuous. And we're going to associate this with patent ductus arteriosus. And I'm going to explain the reason why. So before we're born, prenatally, because we are not using our lungs, there's going to be a shift of the blood from the pulmonary artery to the aorta. And this is going to be done through the ductus arteriosus. It is going to connect the pulmonary artery to the aorta. So there's going to be flow of blood going from the pulmonary artery into the aorta. If this ductus arteriosus does not close, then we call that patent ductus arteriosus. Because after we're born, the pressure in the aorta is always going to be higher than the pressure found within the pulmonary artery, there's going to be a backflow of blood from the aorta into the pulmonary artery, and this is going to create a murmur. The reason why this murmur occurs during systole as well as diastole is because the pressure in the aorta is higher than the pressure in the pulmonary artery during systole as well as diastole. And that is the reason why we hear this murmur continuously. So associate machine-like murmurs with patent ductus arteriosus. They are continuous and they happen during systole as well as diastole. Now let's look at answer choice B. A grade 4 out of 6 mid-systolic murmur at the right upper sternal border that increases on rapid squatting. Now the information that the answer choice gives us is that we're hearing a mid-systolic murmur. And this murmur is in the right upper sternal border and it is going to increase on rapid squatting. In the right upper sternal border, we have the aortic valve again, and the pathology that is associated with the aortic valve that happens during systole is going to be aortic stenosis. Now, aortic stenosis is going to be due to the stenosis of the aortic valve. So there's going to be this narrowing that is going to make it harder for the left ventricle to push out blood. As a result, the afterload is going to increase. And anything that increases the afterload is going to exacerbate this murmur. Because squatting is going to increase systemic vascular resistance, it is going to increase ultimately the afterload. And that is why we experience a exacerbation in the murmur. So as we said, answer choice B is aortic stenosis. And we said answer choice C was patent ductus arteriosus. Answer choice A is a grade 3 out of 6 systolic ejection murmur heard along the left lower sternal border that increases on Valsalva. And this is going to be due to hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. There's a systolic ejection murmur that is going to be heard along the left lower sternal border. And the reason why it increases on Valsalva is because during the Valsalva maneuver, we're going to hold our breath and exhale. This is going to dramatically increase the pressure found within the thoracic cavity. If there's an increase in pressure found within the thoracic cavity, then there's going to be less blood coming back to the heart. So we're ultimately going to have less blood in the heart. The way you want to think about what happens with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is that it is going to be due to the murmur that occurs is going to be due to the mitral valve hitting the ventricular wall. Right, so imagine that this is the mitral valve and this is the ventricular wall. If the mitral valve hits the ventricular wall, it is going to create a murmur sound. But if there's a lot of blood, it can kind of lubricate that hitting noise and then it'll reduce the murmur. But if you're doing the Valsalva maneuver, which ultimately decreases the amount of blood found within the heart, then it won't be able to lubricate that noise as well. As a result, we'll hear the murmur pretty clearly with the Valsalva maneuver. So answer choice A is going to be our answer